Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So let's go for another one of our winners for our Advent calendar for December the 8th. Who do we have? Guys, just know these are the videos where we are doing the countdown to Christmas. And so every day we pull two winners, one member, one non-member. Today we have Mel 6748, and our non-member winner is ABCD-IV5PC. So those will be our two winners. I will do a little storytelling message for those two winners in a separate video, which I will put the free link there at the bottom of the description box, okay? Or I guess I should say the top of the description box. But we will get to those winners in just a little bit. In the meantime, let's go ahead and do a today's topic video. And just know that tomorrow I will actually be putting out the 9th earlier in the day, and then by tomorrow night we'll do the 10th as well. So just know we will have a Monday winner as well in the video for the 9th, okay? So for our energy surrounding, actually I really love this deck, surrounding the December 8th, what do we have? Denise, it's so great to see you. Violet, wonderful to catch you, babe. We have a King of Coins. Okay, so this could be really nice. This could be somebody who's moving forward in life with confidence, with the intention of being very generous. This could be a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Possibly this is going to be the story of a divine masculine who seems like he is quite heroic and quite, like ready to enter into the world. Oh, feels like violence. It was my pleasure, sweetheart. I did get to you at the beginning of the other video, right? So sorry, you guys. My baby is going to be singing his doggy songs tonight. Queen of Cups. That Queen of Cups represents somebody that is very loving, very warm, and she's kind of dressed for Christmas as well. So I'm almost feeling like, sorry guys, he's in another part of the house. So I don't know how loud it's picking up on the camera. I apologize if it's super loud. Aries, my love. Yeah, you did great, baby. Now you just settle down, hop on your couch. I don't know if you could hear him. He just got on his couch, which is a disaster, by the way. But this feels like he is maybe coming home for Christmas. Maybe he's on his way to her Christmas party. He seems real happy about this. Okay. His horse is jaunty. My dog was jaunty just a minute ago. Everything is, nice and, like exciting. It feels Christmassy. It really does. Knight of Coins. This has been a long time coming, and perhaps it it is exactly the way this needed to go. If she is like a Christmas gift or something, like the prize to be won, this has been a long time. This could be somebody coming home to like surprise a loved one. This could be somebody who's going to make it in time for Christmas. I don't know. We'll see. 5 of Cups. It's been a long time since he crossed that bridge to come back into the castle. Why is he getting nervous about this now? He was so jaunty just a second ago. We keep seeing these flashes of red. Blasted Tower. Okay, so things didn't end so good. The last time they spoke, things were not good. Okay, but hang on. Does she know that you're coming on home? Because I'm hearing, because mama, I'm coming home. Page of Swords. No. Okay, so this is a surprise. Now, let's say this isn't about love. Let's say this is somebody coming back to visit their family, and they had a falling out. And it's like, well, I didn't really tell mom that I'm coming back. But I've wanted to come back for a while. We just had an ugly falling out the last time we saw each other. She was crying. I said I wasn't coming back, but really I didn't mean it, kind of thing. The reason I'm throwing that out there is because it feels like it was kind of a childish, like, well, I'm leaving, like we all act like kids sometimes, and we cross our arms and we stomp our feet and, we chug our little selves right out the room, but we didn't really mean it. We didn't mean we always wanted to be gone. This feels like it ended bad, and it feels like he's been spying or thinking for a long time that he'd like to come back. Hi, everybody. So great to see you all. We've got the Eight of Cups. Everything here says he thinks he's coming home, but she may not be home wherever that is anymore. If he knew her in a certain location, she maybe has literally moved. So he may have the wrong address. She may have emotionally moved on. So she may not be remembering. I mean, maybe she doesn't remember him at all. Three of Cups. A message of she could also be with somebody else by now. Or she could just be spending time with people she adores. I don't see her sitting around twiddling thumbs. I do see her very happy. But I don't know that there's any energy of her like, oh yeah, I'm happy. I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to hear he's coming back. Sorry, guys. I got to remember to drink more fluid. Who are they to each other? If I could not destroy a deck in the process. Who are these two to each other? The Moon. They are people who have not ever really gotten to know everything that they should have about each other, which now I would say, okay, anybody, even family members, we can have a conflict of like understanding. It doesn't mean that we don't know each other to a certain extent, but family members oftentimes don't understand each other fully. We have the Judgment card, though. They are two people who have, I almost think, have wondered about the mystery of what brought them together. So I'm going to veer away from this ever being family, and we're going to probably go down the road of romance after all. Simply because, wishing to understand somebody better, still being mystified by them, but sensing that there was some cosmic reason that they met. So therefore the story couldn't end here, could it? That doesn't feel like family. That feels like a relationship of choice. That feels like romantic. Okay, so we're going to move toward romance. And with this Nine of Cups, I kind of feel like this is maybe a little bit more on the King's side. He's like, but she's somebody who tends to be really happy. She's somebody who may have also made him happy. I don't understand what happened with the two of them. What brought down the Tower? Six of Wands. There could have been jealousy. There could have been, the competitiveness. Maybe they thought she was doing really well. Maybe they thought she was full of herself even, because this can be arrogance. Maybe it was like, oh, thinks she's so too good for me or something like that. That could have been part of the problem. Five of Cups, but then they're the ones who left her sad. Now, keep in mind, they were sad too, because they've been over on the other side of the bridge all this time, outside of the empire, outside of the castle walls. This just looks sad because two people both missed each other. She may have missed his smell. He missed everything about her. I don't get why a conflict got to be so heated that they actually like separated and walked away from each other. The Chariot. Maybe that was the only thing to do. The Chariot here says it's time to move on, and with maybe good reason. Maybe it is time. She may have been the one who said, I'm definitely leaving this. Maybe he was rude to her, or she perceived it that way. It's like, oh, he thinks I'm full of myself. Then I don't really know what I'm supposed to do about that. He doesn't seem to like me. Maybe that's why we have that Moon. Because this is her sitting there going, I don't understand how he couldn't have known me better. And if he accused her of being full of herself, I could see why she's like, well, I got no choice but to move on, because if somebody's going to misunderstand me to that extent, if they don't, I'm here in Simply Red, if you don't know me by now, I could see how that would be a problem. with that Nine of Wands sideways, it hurt. And it's kind of been a hurt that has lasted. And I would say that makes sense because if somebody misinterprets who you are, and it was somebody that you had romantic feelings for, and you thought that they loved you and you loved them, and then they either, intimate that you're like full of yourself or something, or you need to humble your ego, because she's the one falling from the tower. I'm kind of thinking, I mean, he's the one who said things that ended badly with us, but I didn't mean I never wanted to talk to her again. But if you say to somebody, you're so full of your ego, blah, 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 and she's like, wow, I don't even know where that came from, but if they know me so little, then I guess I gotta go. That's kind of what it looks like happened in the past. Like, she turned her back, she moved on with a real sharp sting, because it's like, how could you have got me so wrong? Hang on. I'm asking the masculine in this now. And please remember, I don't actually read for genders, but we have a King of Pentacles and a Queen of Cups who've shown up. So we're going to talk about him and her, even though they could both be the same sex, right? Do you understand that you got her wrong, or that she feels like you got her wrong? Seven of Swords, Two of Cups. Yeah, he knows that, because this Seven of Swords, which normally would be, lies and deception, but we change this meaning on this card quite a bit, because what we really have is hieroglyphs, which, can you translate hieroglyphs? Because I can't. And that kind of is a really good indicator that maybe that was the problem with these two. They didn't get to the point where they could understand each other. And maybe that's just it. He's realizing, I think I accused her of something that she wasn't, because I didn't understand what she was, coming across as, or maybe I said something and she didn't know what I meant. But in truth, she's my Two of Cups. And yet I said something that either I misinterpreted, or, look, here's the thing. The truth is, she's my Two of Cups, but we never found a way to decipher anything other than, I love this person, I want to be with this person. But their actual communication sucked. I feel like the emotions were real between them. The communication, practically non-existent, or almost everything that they said to each other came out wrong. Or, what one person says, the other person doesn't hear that, and vice versa. I feel like there was a lot of tension, because it's getting uncomfortable. I feel a sense of frustration and discomfort, and why are you making things up? Only it's nobody's making things up. They're just not hearing what another person said, because they got their own earmuffs on. We all hear things from our lens of experience, right? It's not like we try to put words into people's mouths that they didn't say. It's just we only know our point of reference. And maybe that's what this problem was. With the Nine of Wands, we could have also had two people, both of whom were wounded. The problem with this is that there were more wounds accumulated after false accusations of arrogance, and you always want to lead, you want to be in charge. And it's oh my God, that could have really hit a nerve for her. Whatever happened hit a nerve for them. I just feel like this is already two people who had some scars, and then they both pressed on each other's bruises, Okay, so it was a mess. So let me ask this. If he is on his traveling journey here to be with her by Christmas, it's been a long time coming. I don't say Christmas because it keeps looking like peppermint candy and stuff. So what is prompting you to come toward her now? Princess of Wands, a combination of, I got to listen to this message from the universe. I have this spark, this desire that tells me now is the right time to take the first step toward this. But there's something else at work here. There's something coming in from the cosmos. It's not necessarily that it's divine timing exactly. It's more like, Seven of Wands. We again have things shining in the sky. It's a time to overcome problems, struggles. It's maybe he has a spark of inspiration. Maybe he's figured something out. Maybe he's hit the bullseye and has realized something about her. And it's oh my God, I didn't see who she was. I didn't see why or how I misunderstood her. I didn't see her as she was until like now, because it seems like a big like eureka moment. You know, anytime we see fireworks and stuff, it's like, oh my God, how did I miss that? Hang on. So how do you see her now? I mean, as a loving person, Three of Wands, he sees her now as somebody that he obviously wants in his future, as somebody that is a manifester, but I'm not sure what has changed. Two of Swords, he was like blocking either because of a pattern in his own life. Maybe he had it set in his head how people were supposed to behave because that's all he had known was a certain pattern. And if anything was even a little bit different, it was like, oh, you're in the wrong. That's not how you're supposed to behave. I'm wondering if he was like kind of inflexible and he thought he had to like lead. Because look, if you think you're the scissors and you're supposed to cut the patterns, then you're thinking the other person is a piece of paper. And if the piece of paper has a mind of their own and it's like, oh, no, I was thinking like, I don't feel like being cut into this pattern. Then it's like, whoa, piece of paper is not behaving. That could have been, I don't know how else to explain it, right? We got paper and scissors here. So, and maybe that is a little bit of what it turned into, right? Paper, scissors, rock. Like they were adversarial instead of, you know, like who's going to come out on top, who's going to win. Instead of just realizing that she wasn't trying to win, she was just, you know, like having her own opinions, her own ideas. It wasn't about who's the scissors and who's the paper after all. But that's the only way maybe he knew for things to operate, especially in like relationships, is I'm the scissors, you're supposed to be the paper. I make these decisions and you go along with them. I cut the pattern. I don't think you're going to be able to cut the pattern just because she's a, you know, warm, loving Queen of Cups. She's not just a, you know, pocket full of lint. She's got a personality. She's got her ideas. I'm wondering if this had a lot to do with not understanding that somebody has their own personality. Maybe she was stronger than what he was used to. And so that was, you know, confusing to him. We have the Four of Pentacles and it's in the reverse. That Four of Pentacles says, finally, like letting go of maybe control issues. I'm not going to hold the reins so tight and insist somebody has to behave the way I'm accustomed to. And that could be the real reason that he's like, I figured this out. That's why I want to come back toward her. Can I just cut ahead for just a moment? And I'd like to just ask, universe, could this situation really work out? Because we said she seems to have turned her back and moved on. The universe says, with the Hanged Man here, it still might not work out right now. Even if they're, you know, thinking that this is, okay, I figured it out. Maybe I needed to change my perception of her a little bit. That's great. But these two still like almost speak a different language. These two still are not really on the same page. They're going to feel so foreign. Think of what it is for a baby. When a baby is born, like they're mystified by how their little fingers work because that's new to them. Their whole environment is different. They have to learn how to do everything. Hold up their head, roll over, learn how to, you know, motor their little hands to get food into their little mouths. You know, everything is a learning curve. I actually think that these two would have a huge learning curve if they were going to be good together. Doesn't mean that they couldn't be, but it says this is not going to be kismet and perfection just because he's, you know, riding back into her life. They could have a lot of learning curves still. They may or may not choose to pursue that, but we certainly see, I mean, at minimum, this might be good to rebirth something and at least clear the air between them and then see if they can evolve together and, you know, if they want to learn about each other. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this one here. So great to see everybody. I'm going to do the storytelling for the birthday for the 8th in the description box as well. There will be a free link there. Give me about 15-20 minutes. You guys, it's so good to see you. Please forgive me. I have to bounce out of here or this video will get too long and it won't ever process. So I'll see you guys again tomorrow. And in about 15 or 20 minutes or so, you'll see that other link. All right, bye.